Chainsaw Man.
Oh, man.
Fuck. Notice the somber Chainsaw Man today. This fucking series is so good.
This series is so good, but my God, I pulled a dickhead on Twitter, and
Oh wow, we're going there, huh?
I just want to talk about how completely fucked up Makima is as a character, and how stupid Denji is to continue to fall for this.
No, let's not blame Denji. She has systematically fucking destroyed him mentally. Like, she basically like pulled like an evil manipulative therapist like move. Like, she's also literally the control that, like, yeah, Denji's no smart person, but like I feel like it takes away from the emotion to just be like, lol, you know, like that meme, like, you know, lol, Denji stupid, lol, Denji go brr.
Stupid. But she manipulated him from the very beginning because he was
I feel like this is more of a feat for Makima than a Denji dumb.
Well, Denji was dumb from at the beginning of the fucking series, and here's why I pulled that move over on Twitter. Like, what this is definitely the abusive, toxic relationship taken to a whole nother level. But what I really, really, really love that this series is doing is making me despise a villain's very fabric of being. Not just simply because they're the villain, but because they've taken this toxic, manipulative being that is the control devil and made her the manifest as this fucking, I'll grant you any wish. I'm a genie, basically. Mm-hmm. But here she has a broken man in her bed. Like, I'll grant you any wish. And I want to say that immense growth for Denji as a character. Like, I just want to have sex. I want to be your dog forever.
Yeah, and we'll get to that. And I have things to say about that, although I have a joke that I must tell. You were talking about Denji being stupid in the beginning, but I have to say, David, when a girl walks in with an itty-bitty waist and a round thing in your face, you get sprung.
Okay.
Why do I even film these with you? I literally looked up the lyrics for you.
You looked up the lyrics for
I forgot what it was after the little itty-bitty waist.
For a shitty Sir Mix-a-Lot joke.
Bruh.
Wow.
Bruh.
Like, she got that badunkadunk for sure. She got that Pixar mom ass for sure.
It's on loop. I can't stop it.
Like, but my God.
David, I'm sorry. There's a thing that a comedy partner does, and it is when one joke falls flat, you got to pick it up. You can't rule of improv, never dead silence. Fuck you.
No, I'm not dead silencing. I'm like, from Pixar mom ass to,
yeah.
I wonder how many of those dogs were former fucking slaves of Makima.
No, I do wonder. So like, we can talk about it in a literal sense. We can talk about it in a metaphorical sense. But first, I don't know. Like, I kind of want to analyze what I took from that. So, essentially, throughout this chapter, I think one thing I always have to compliment this author on is an incredibly realistic portrayal of depression. Like, fucking phenomenally realistic. It's not like the fucking, you know, crying in a corner, cutting yourself, fucking Sasuke, like, you'll never know my despair. It's more like just what you would do, right? So he gets this money from Aki, chooses to drown himself in, you know, meaningless entertainment, like playing nothing but video games, watching movies, getting good food, basically just trying to distract himself from his pain. And you can see it. It's so obvious, you know, and like, God, there's so many good moments here where like he sees a winner on the popsicle stick and he's just like, I'm not a winner. Like that's just ironic. But like, yeah, the end part here, when she finally brings him to her house and he's looking at all these dogs and he's just like, there's a line here where he says, I need to find exactly what he says here. Hold on a second. It's about how nice this, he says, this is like the best place in the world. Because you can almost like, even though that it's a manga and there's like, it's just black and white, you can almost see how like everything before they're at Makima's house is like cold and dark and it just feels, it's probably because it's nighttime, but everything just feels cold and lifeless. And the second they're in Makima's house, all of a sudden everything feels happy. You know, you're in like a house with like dogs. It feels like normal life again. It feels like there's something to love, something to be happy about. You know, even Makima, go ahead.
So, Red, back when I went to
do you mind if I finish my point real quick? Otherwise I'll forget. Just like 30 more seconds. Even Makima, who's normally very like, even when she's like pretending to like chill with Denji, she's usually a lot more like reserved and cold than this. And even her, she's acting a lot more like a normal, like just woman would. Laughing with their dogs and stuff, and like basically you see Denji, who's been in like this horrible place mentally for so long, just be like, this is amazing. So I don't know if I took it necessarily. You're taking it to an interesting level about where like maybe these dogs are literally like past slaves of hers and then she turns them into dogs. I'll be honest, that's not where my mind went, although I could see it. Where my mind went was this was like metaphorical in the sense that like Makima went through this whole thing, basically like building him up, giving him power, giving him prestige, you know, as a devil hunter, and then build you up before you tear you down. It's good old fashioned drill sergeant rules, right? And you know, give him friends, give him a family, and then take it away, right? And we haven't even gotten to power yet. I imagine that's the trump card. Like if he's not broken enough, I'll get power too. And I know he's supposed to kill power. We'll see how that goes. But like essentially how I took it was just he looks at, you know, like you wait till he's at his lowest, you bring him here, he's just finally feeling warm and happy, and you pull a couple more trick moves on him. Something she's really good at is that physical contact. Like she's really good at breaking the touch barrier. You know, oh, your hands are cold, just like without wordlessly fucking touching the hands. Oh, they're warm now. Pulling him in, making him feel really safe and comfortable. And basically this was all to just make him feel like my life has been nothing but fucking torment, and here I feel happy. And I think that maybe there's something to the dog thing as well. Like when you're a dog, like look at dogs don't have a shit thing to worry about. You know, they don't got anything to worry about. They get to just chill and be pet. So like I look at it as a metaphorical thing. I'd be curious how you look at it.
Yeah. So dogs are. When I went to Davenport around exam time, they would have like dogs there to relieve the stress of exams and everything. They're like a therapy animal, and that's why they give them out to like people that have like severe depression. It's like a companion animal. Yeah. You know how they do that companion therapy stuff.
Have you ever seen the gifs of like dogs that they give to people that are suicidal, and like if you're doing self-harm, they'll come in and give you the nuzzles like the best boys they are?
Yep, that's exactly where I'm going with this. Like that's the most stressful time for a student is like exam time. You know, you're like, did I pass? Did I keep my GPA? Do I get to keep it on my sports and all that shit?
Very healthy school relationship, or very healthy school system when statistically, like scientific studies show that U.S. college students have the same mental health as like 1920s insane asylum patients.
Yeah, for real though. But like, that's why the dog part resonated with me so much. Is like it instantly you go into a room full of puppies and dogs, and you're like, oh, stress free. I give all the belly rubs. I give all the head pats. I get to.
I feel like Denji wants a belly rub from Makima. I'm not even kidding. Like I was waiting for him to be like, "Can I get a belly rub too?"
I know. I was kind of picturing that. That was kind of where they were going here as well. But like, it's wild. Like. The first place I went to is like as dark as the series is, like Chainsaw Man. Mm-hmm. My first thought was like, yeah, those are all past slaves of Makima.
Maybe it's possible. I feel like this series is usually pretty good at being like subtle and not over the top as well, though, with its darkness. So like that's definitely a possibility. Another one is just like the metaphors of like, because like this whole series from the very beginning, she has called him a dog. You know, you know, a dog should only say yes, ma'am, and woof, right? And he even says it here,
like, still doing the woof.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, I didn't even laugh at that. Like that wasn't even a funny woof. Like I was actually like, I kind of like screamed out loud when I saw that, because we're in this moment where he's like genuinely depressed, and like she just says, Denji, stand up, and he says woof. Like he's so conditioned. Like I don't know if that was meant to be comedic. I kind of like shrieked at that because I thought she was starting to put him under like control for a second. Like that's just so dark to me that like that's the first thing he goes to.
Oh yeah, it's definitely dark as fuck. But
it's a broken man.
He's been broken. Like his whole upbringing, he's been this broken man. But like she has broken him to like, and this is dark as fuck, but like he's like a Holocaust prisoner here.
Yeah.
If she just fucking went like, I'm going to kill you now, Denji, you'd be like, okay, Mistress Makima.
You want to go darker? It's like, it reminds me a little bit of like when back in the day when like African Americans were like enslaved, like the ones that would work in the house would get like a good bed and stuff like that. Like it almost reminds me of that. Like he's willing to be like a total slave to her just because it's a happier existence than he's lived up till now. Like you have not only was he previously that broken, but like you did some drill sergeant shit, like I said, where you gave him a bit of happiness and a bit of independence. It was almost like Makima is like mama bird and like, okay, now spread your wings and leave the nest. Oh, did that not work out for you? Were you happy for like 3 months and then everything got fucked? Guess you should never leave mama. Come on back. Be my dog forever.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just straight up like fucking the most dark shit imaginable for fucking Denji's existence. Like that little bit of freedom, the friends, everything is him slowly, him being the cause of Aki's death too. My God.
Oh, I have to, speaking of that too, love this guy. I love how he writes. The fact that like, bro, it was just me when I opened this chapter, the literal first panel is just a black box. Aki died. I'm like, okay. Jeez.
Yeah. Just straight up, Aki died.
Immediately goes into his will and shit. And like, unbelievable. Like, I love how any other manga, there'd be this long, like, last words from Aki, like, Denji. It's just like, this one, chapter ends with the tragic death. Next chapter, time skip. Aki's dead. Here's his will. I got half his money. Spent it on a bitchin' apartment.
Bitchin' apartment that's small as fuck. And he also mentioned how small it was.
That's all right, bro. Him and Power, like, I know they're not like diddling each other, but like they definitely have a close relationship where they're comfortable being next to each other, so I don't feel like it's a problem.
Yeah, it's kind of like a brother-sister relationship in a way.
Yeah, it's cute.
And he gave the other half of his money to Himeno's family.
Yeah, that's nice. That's Puke Girl, right?
I believe so, yeah. I'm actually pulling up the wiki right now.
So we're not fucking idiots. I'm 99% sure that's Puke Girl. How do you spell that?
Himeno.
All right, cool. Oh, there's actual Japanese people named that. Who would have guessed? All right.
Yeah, that's Puke Girl.
Rip. Man, I miss Puke Girl.
Yeah.
I'm glad her family got a little bonus check in the mail. That's nice. Little Trumpy Wumpy stimulus check up in there.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The partner that smoked and yeah.
Rip. Yeah, I remember a lot about her. I just am bad with names.
Exactly. I have resigned myself to the fact that
that's why everyone gets a nickname.
Everybody gets a nickname. Puke Girl.
Speaking of puke, I'd be remiss to mention we've made the joke before that this author has a puke fetish, and it continues.
Yeah. So Puke Girl, puke fetish. What the hell else?
Well, I was gonna ask someone to go through and like count the amount of times a character is puked because I'm just genuinely curious.
Yeah, I am straight up curious as well because there was at the party there was the kiss. There's this. I swear there's more instances of vomit. In the series.
Power has puked before. Yeah.
Didn't Denji gorge himself when he
Aki puked, and then there was like a joke like, ha, yeah, Denji ate too much. That was pretty recently too. And then Aki puked, and they were like, ha, now you've puked too.
Yeah. So give us a puke counter in the comments. So yeah.
I think I had something else to say. Also, I gotta say, like, it's so obvious that Makima has, like, a way to track Denji because she always, like, shows up out of the ether. Always. Just even when he's in the middle of fucking nowhere. Yeah,
like, straight up. I figure it's the fucking rats.
Yeah. She could probably just, like, apparate out of a pile of rats anywhere. Like,
this is a Plague's Tale manga.
Well, you know in Harry Potter where they can just, like apparate, like, out of nothing?
Or in Dragon Ball, instantaneous transmission.
Fuck Dragon Ball, Harry Potter.
Well, one is a legendary mangaka, the other is a fucking turf.
Oh, I wanted to say turf. If you weren't going to say turf, I was going to be like, turf! Fucking turf!
So, yeah.
Look at us with the lingo. I didn't even know what turf meant until J.K. Rowling. She defined it for me. Yeah, and like, I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it did seem like the whole time I was looking at this, it did seem like Denji was, like, she had all these dogs, and it was like she was treating Denji like the exact same as them, right? Because she gave them treats, he got a cake. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
She's kind of petting him. Like she has this whole time treated him exactly the same as she would a dog.
she's conditioned him to want that wish for some reason, it seems like. But what I want to say here is, like, we have this break again, this wonderful break in chapters, and that gives us a little bit of time to do some big brain predictions here.
Yeah, I'm very curious where it's going to go from here. So I guess the dream of them fucking is gone, because I did kind of want to see that.
Yeah, there's definitely not going to be any sexy time.
Because, Makima probably wouldn't fuck her dog. I would assume not, unless she's into that.
I don't think there's going to be a Red Rocket moment, Red.
That's a weird place to put peanut butter here.
But no, what I picture is going to happen in 2 weeks is we're going to see what this wish becomes. We're going to see Power get depressed at Denji's, like, fucking... How dark do you think they'll
Well, at this point, he becomes Makima's dog, and then probably, like, Makima... Like, here's how dark we can get it. If he truly becomes Makima's dog, resigns himself so much to Makima that he will literally listen to her every word, and then Makima's like, okay, well, dogs have to be loyal. How do we test this?
Power.
Kill Power!
No, here's what I was thinking. Like, if they wanted to go really, really, really fucked up dark, like, they could kill the brother-sister dynamic here and just have, the really close families that have, like, the really good brother-sister dynamic, and then as the brother or the sister gets their partner, they drift apart.
Oh, like a bro before hoe situation, except, like, he just stops. That would be really sad. Like, he just stops hanging out with Power. Yo. Oh, my God, David, wait a minute. You might have just big-brained. Because, like, all right, hear me out. I'm gonna elaborate on what you're saying here. So, here's how I can see this playing out if they want to go extra dark. Power literally has no one else other than Denji. We've established that without Denji, Power is basically, like, useless and she can't really take care of herself very well. So Denji becomes obsessed, addicted to Makima, literally, like, ultimate simp dog for Makima. Stops hanging out with Power.
Already been the simp dog.
Right. Stops hanging out with Power, stops associating with Power, stops even talking to Power. Power gets more and more depressed, maybe fucking offs herself. And then technically Denji would have
go.
And then technically Denji would have killed Power. Technically, because the Future Devil has been very cheeky with his predictions, right? Well, technically it's the worst death for the Chainsaw Boy. And then he could be like, well, technically the Chainsaw killed Power by making her depressed. I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go. Like, it was going to be more like they drift. I was going to be like she can't take care of herself because,
that'd be sad.
Why would a depressed person care about taking care of themselves?
Oh my God, that would be so sad. And then Makima's just, like, twisting him more around his finger as Power just withers away.
And just she, like, I don't need to exist anymore. Conjures up a blood weapon, slits her throat. Done.
God. Yes, I'm into it. That would I might cry from that shit. Hey, Power, hey, Steel Ram, hey, Power fans, how you feel about that one?
And that's probably where we'll be ending up in, like, 2 weeks here.
I'm into it.
Any final thoughts before we peace out? And you edit this?
I'm looking forward to where it's gonna go. I fucking loved this chapter.
This chapter just was wild. I'm kind of glad that I had today off to sit down and enjoy this week's chapters. Even with everything that's been going on inside of Jump lately, it just this week has been really, really special and sad all at once. Like, we're seeing series hit the axe, and we're seeing series, get picked up, and fucking next issue we get Burn the Witch. We'll be covering that shit. Bleach anime sometime in the next fucking year, covering that. Everything seems to be falling in place right now. So, yeah.
And then Ruby soon too, right?
Oh yeah, Ruby maybe covering Red vs. Blue Zero. Fuck yeah, man.
All right, peace for me. That peace for you too.
Yep.
All right.